Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. I'm recording this, so I'll eventually get it on YouTube. Someone might have to remind me. I'm the worst. But I'm so excited because we have a few people talking tonight, and they're going to give some awesome tips for how they're booming their business and just getting things rocking and rolling. And we kind of have people from all over the board. So our first speaker is Lisa, and she's going to talk about in person. So a lot of us do things online, right? And Lisa absolutely kills it in person. And I think that we need a lot more in person training right now because things are so social media based, which is great, but I always say you should be putting out like all the different fishing poles and trying all the different things. And I try to mix it up and do both in person and online. And that way I'm touching way more people that way. So, Lisa, if you will share why you started, a little bit about your story, and then any amazing tips that you can give us for in person. Okay, let me unmute you. Hold on. Where are you at? I don't know if I can unmute you. You're, It doesn't say that you have any audio. You have to hook up your audio, Lisa. Can she hear me? Maybe she can't hear me. Y'all can hear me, right? Okay, good. Hold on. I'm gonna message her. I might go first and have her figure it out. Yeah, she said she can't hear anything. Okay, I'll go first while she figures it out. I'll just go first. Hi guys, I'm Jackie. I guess I should have said that. I'm the worst. I don't know. I never say who I am. So I'm Jackie Wilson. I'm a triple diamond. I've been with It Works since May of 2014, so a little over 5 years. And the reason that I started was because I just wanted to pay down student loan debt. So I was working, I have a master's degree and I was working full time. And so I didn't see this as a full-time thing. Like I didn't come in this thinking like, I'm going to make lots of money. I just was like, I have some student loan debt and I don't like it. And so therefore maybe I can just help, use this to help me like alleviate that monthly payment. And so I kind of just jumped in, had zero idea what I was doing, had never done obviously anything like this before. And so when I started working this, like the most important thing that I feel about my story is that people always tell me they're so busy. And when I started working this, I had just started my other job, my full-time job at the time. And I had never done that before. And they had actually created like a new division that I was supposed to be figuring out how it worked within the company. So like I was doing a lot and traveling like crazy amounts of hours in my car all over the Florida for my full-time job when I started this. And I was able to still get in 10 months, I think I was making more than my full-time job, and I was making about $65,000 a year at my full-time job. And so in 10 months, I was like, all right, I'm just going to give my notice. And then 13 months in, I went triple, and here I am. And so it's been an amazing ride, and it's just done so much for us. But I feel like one of the best things our company is incredible, but our team is just so amazing. Like my confidence level is at a totally different place than when I first started. Like I'm very shy and introverted. I would have never, ever done a video like ever. I remember we got challenged to do a video my second month in the business, and I was like, I didn't do it. I was like, I'm not doing that, but it wasn't my thing. And so I've pushed myself out of my comfort zone little by little throughout, the past 5 years to get to where I'm at and to have the confidence that I have. And I've never felt better in my entire life than I feel right now. With myself. And I'm not saying I'm at like the level I want to be at necessarily, but I've worked on myself so much that my confidence is so high. So I work mostly social media. So I'm going to give some of social media tips. I'm going to specifically talk about stories. So I work Instagram. I sign probably 75% from Instagram, 25% from Facebook. Maybe that's gone down a little. But I do stories. And so I've gotten a lot of potentials from my stories. So the thing about stories is that, and I heard this today, I wish I would have written down the exact words that they said, but something about instead of creating content, you're just showing your life. And so I am on stories like all day long. And some people are like, my life is so boring. I don't even know what to show on my story. Literally, I go to the gym and I take a picture of the front of LA Fitness and I write like good morning and put the time there. Like, and then when I come home, maybe it took me a lot to like speak into the camera, y'all. Like it took me a lot to get there, but I pushed myself to do it. And so now like sometimes I'll do a few slides where I'll be speaking into the camera and just being like, I didn't want to go to the gym today, but I went to the gym today, blah, 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 blah. I'm literally documenting my life. I'll show my son, you know, mixing up his chocolate greens and his milk. I'll show me making my coffee. And then I might put some coffee slides and do a poll. Like I'm just literally documenting my day. And I know when you're at work, you know, that might not be totally possible, maybe at lunch or something, if you're using, you know, product at work. But throughout the rest of your day, you can totally be documenting your day. And that's what I do. And so every day on my stories, I will have like a series of posts or whatever, stories, slides, I guess they call them slides, of a product. So for me, it's usually coffee because I'm obsessed with the coffee and I've become really comfortable, I guess, at upselling like 2 bags of coffee and the chocolate grains. And so like, that's a really good upsell for me. And so I do either coffee or I've been doing the celery, just whatever I'm using. I use Thermophyte X. Like if I'm doing a wrap, I show it. And so I'll always either I have a product every day, and I will also have something about the business every day. It could be me talking into the camera about the business, which doesn't happen super often, and I'm feeling very daring, or it's just a series of slides. I'm sure you guys have seen that, right? You've seen the series of slides of either other people's stories. You can make your own. Even if you feel like you don't have your own story, you do, because you're here, right? You've lived the amount of years in your life that you've lived. So clearly you have a story of your life. And so, you know, wherever you were before you joined, you were at a certain place, right? That pushed you to join. And now you're at a certain place. And so even if you don't have like I am an ambassador story, you don't need that, right? We all started at level 0. We all started with 0 distributors and 0 customers. And so you have a story. I had a story back then, or I would share other people's stories as well. And I still do. I still share other people's stories because someone else might resonate with someone that's a nurse or someone that's who knows what. I made a pro was a police officer. You know what I mean? Like someone might resonate with one of their stories over mine. So every day I'll have something about the product, something about the business. I always try to do polls as often as I can, and I basically do them every single day because that's such an easy way to message people. And I do message people, but I definitely message people if they click on my poll. And so how I message them, it doesn't matter if I think that they meant to click it or not. It doesn't matter if they've clicked on like 5 of my other polls and like never answered me. Like I will still message them. And sometimes if you've ever messaged on Instagram and you don't know this, you can unsend messages. So sometimes I'll just unsend the last message if they didn't respond to me, or the last poll because maybe they by accident clicked it. I don't know. But I've had people where I've messaged them, they never responded to me, and months later I unsent the message, resent it. It actually happened to me today, and she asked for more info. So like maybe back then it wasn't the right time for them, but maybe now it is. So anyway, I will message everyone that clicks my poll, and I say something simple. So I save the picture of the poll, and I will just say, hey, Ashley, thank you so much for clicking my poll. Did you want more information about the coffee? Or did you want more information about the business? Or did you want more information about the celery, or whatever it is? And I'll send a picture of the poll so they know what I'm talking about. And if they don't respond back to me, I usually will go back and I'll just be like, hey, I'm just checking. Did you mean to click the poll? And sometimes they're like, oh my gosh, I did. And I got so busy and I forgot to like, yes, please send me more information. That happens a lot of time actually. Or sometimes they're like, no, my child was clicking through the pictures and whatever, I don't know. And so that's fine because that's another seed planted. So you've just planted that in their mind and it was an easy, message to send. So I'm really big into stories. I get most of my potentials from them. I know some girls will go through their stories and look at their viewers, and you have to do this before they like expire, but they'll message all the people that are viewing them. Because if I have 6 slides in a row about joining the business, right? Maybe people's stories or whatever it is, and the people have watched every single slide and they haven't clicked through, clearly there might be some interest there because they've watched all of them, right? And so that's an easy way for me to message as well. So that was kind of my biggest tip is stories. And anyway, if you have questions, I'll put them in the chat. I don't want to speak too long because I know we have a bunch of other people to speak, but that was kind of my biggest tip is be in your stories, show your life. The more that you use social media, the higher in the algorithm it'll put you. So like if you're on stories all day long, you'll notice that you're not all day long, but as much as you can, your viewers will start to go up because you're using it more, and like Instagram and Facebook like reward you with more people seeing your stuff. I don't know. It's just how it works. So even if you have to like pre-plan some things, I put all kinds of stuff in there. I'll put just like positive quotes. I get actually the most like interaction, people messaging me and being like, oh my gosh, I needed to see this today from positive quotes. So anything like that you feel like, I specifically post a lot about Disney. So sometimes I'll even share other people's posts and like be like giving love in that way, and share their posts into my story and just be like, oh my gosh, these Disney ears are so cute. I don't know, but it's on my story. So I'm like giving them views, if you will. I'm like opening them up to my market. All right. That was my tip. If you have questions, you can ask in the chat. I'm going to have Lisa speak really quick, and then I'm going to have Laura go, just because I wanted to have Lisa go, and she was figuring out all the things, Okay, let me unmute you now. Okay. Did that work? No. Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay, cool.
I don't know. I had to have the phone and the computer. I don't know.
I know. It didn't show you had an audio before. So, okay. So I want you to talk about why you joined, a little bit about your story thus far, and then give us some amazing in-person tips, please.
On events or in person, yes.
Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So about what was actually 4 years ago on my birthday, it was one of those you celebrate because I don't know, it was 60, and I saw the pictures later and I said, oh, I need to be doing something because I said a prayer, Lord, I need to be healthier and I'd like to earn some extra money, not knowing he was going to answer the prayer as the same thing. So that was in August, and then in December I started seeing the first time that I first posted about a body wrap, and I said, what is that my friend's daughter's posting about? I don't need that. And then I started watching them, maybe I do, and that's how God used that was actually the answer that I needed. And so I became a customer, and was a customer for a month, and started seeing how not just for me, but for them that I was watching them, how fast I was seeing changes in them. And I said, everybody's going to want this. So I just upgraded to be a distributor then. So when I started this business, I was an overweight, worn out, no energy granny. I would come home from work. I still do work full time, but I'd come home from work, my legs would ache. It was all I could do just to sit down in the chair and do nothing. I got very good about doing nothing. So then I would just grab whatever was fastest for dinner, like that cookie or those chips, and that's not good for you either. So when I first started, I did the body wrap, and then I was watching her post. She said, somebody said they've been sick. She said, you need some greens. I said, I've been sick. I said to myself, I've been sick. Do I need some greens? So I just and a little bit later, they said, oh, thank you so much. I feel so much better, and I have some energy. I said, I need some greens. So to me, if they said you could only have one product, I would have to save as much as I wouldn't want to give up my keto coffee. I want the greens. So because of it works, I'm now 50 pounds lighter, have oodles of energy, and feel decades younger. I can do more, go more, and help more. And that is like, I don't know, I guess that's my why. It's like, because it's done so much for me, I know that there's people out there that want it too. No matter what age you are, no matter what's going on in your life, whether it is for your health or for your finances. And I have always been a people person, so I do like to be around people, but it's also, I believe, the way God answered my prayer, because I remember early on, he said in my prayer time, he wanted me to order that banner, so I did, and then someone invited me to showed me for an event. So I got one of the first events that way. But 2 best tips for being successful in person or events: have fun, be yourself, and be inviting. So I do a lot of events, and I see people that just sit behind their booths, or they're just sitting there the whole time. I don't like to sit down. In fact, if I sit, I take a cooler, and so I sit on the little square cooler if I sit at all. But just be there and talk to people, have fun. I do some fun, depending on the event, whether it's I try to not dress, but maybe say if there's kids there, you're going to do something more fun than if it was a bridal event, maybe dress a little different, that kind of stuff. But I will wear, like, because we have magical products, I'll wear like crowns and things like that, because people are going to say, hey, look at her, what's she got going over there? But be fun and be personal and be inviting, and just start talking to people. And because we have the answers that everybody wants. They're praying about something, whether they're a man, a woman, nobody of any age, they're out there looking for the products that we have, but they don't know about them. And then be a product of the product, because that's when you're going to be excited about it. And if they want to see your pictures. So whether it is just that you've grown your hair out, whatever it is, or the first time you had keto coffee, there's some kind of result that you have that you can tell them. But when you have your own before and afters, that goes a long way. And then get connected with them. I always ask, oh, are you on Facebook? And we get connected right then. Or also we'll have, I'll say, I have a table raffle, or I have a raffle going if you'd like to enter, whether they're interested in the product or not. A lot of people will just sign up. And I used to do the little ones that you could print out. But then it was like, what do you do with all those little pieces of paper? So I just came up, it's just something with a Sharpie and a ruler, and name, phone number, and then I put little things like things that they would want me to talk to them, their weight loss, how many pounds they want to lose, tight and tone and firm, if they want better skin, they're interested in doing a try-it party, facial spa, whatever you want to put on there. And then you can either do for your raffle, you can put it, say you're putting in your monthly raffle for whatever, everybody that you're going to talk to, and you do one raffle, and they don't really care what it is. They're going to sign up. Sometimes they say, what is it? And I say, oh, it's the keto coffee, chocolate greens, and the energy stick. And you could do it once a month, or you can do it every event. And then you have it all here to go back to. And after they've walked away, I'll jot down some little notes, what we talked about. If they can't do caffeine, if we already Facebook friends, something that will jog my memory about who they are. What else did you want me to talk about?
Do you have any special way that you like seal the deal for like loyal customers, or, in person, like when they're there with you at the event?
I don't know. Usually when they do it right there, it's like they were going to do it anyways, right there. A lot of times it's that they want to talk to you, or they'd rather go on to your the page themselves and enter the information. I do have the order sheets there that if they wanted to fill it out. And one of the best tips is go to Amber Parker's YouTube. It was earlier this week, and it was how to sip and sample and party like a rock star. And so much good information there. There was Melody McFarland and Tina Hatcliffe on there also, and it just even opened up my mind, because I'll make over $100 in product cash at an event, but they're talking like big time money, more than that. And I'm thinking, yeah, open up my mind to that idea too. But yeah, there was a lot of good things. And they even, Amber even talked about how almost like you do a host to post for in-person events. And she does a 5-minute facial, where I said, oh yes, there was just so much information there that everybody has to go and watch it. And I had to go and take notes the second time.
Thank you. So Amber Parker's YouTube, what was it called?
How to sip and sample, party like a rock star. If you go to YouTube, it's like the 4th one down. It was like 5 days ago.
Cool. Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
All right. I am Krista. Are you okay with going next? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay. Why you joined, a little about your story, and whatever amazingness you want to throw at us.
Okay. Why I joined. Hi, I'm Krista. I'm Ambassador Diamond, and I've been doing this business. It'll be 7 years in November, which is insane. Like, my 3rd child is 7 years old. Okay, that's crazy. Why I joined. I joined for free product. That was my very first goal. I had no interest in doing this business. I was like a big hater of network marketing. I don't want to buy your products. I can buy them cheaper at Walmart. And I have like kind of social anxiety. I'm super introverted and shy. And so I hate going to parties and feeling pressured to buy things and I feel like people are just talking to me to get me to spend my money and I don't want them. And then I feel bad. And so I end up buying them and I never use them. And so anyway, Terry knows because she knew me before It Works. And I just had a bad taste. I did not like network marketing. So I didn't even know that's what this is when I joined. I just saw after 3 babies, this magic thing that would tighten your skin. And I was very skeptical. But so I signed up with Kim and I knew Kim and I knew that she was level-headed. But I only really met her once in college. We went country music dancing, line dancing, and she was a friend of a friend, but we had stayed in contact through Facebook. And so I had gotten to know her through Facebook. I found out she was a semi-crunchy mom like me. She would ask me questions about cloth diaperings, just some, personal things to get to know each other and gain each other's trust. And so we kind of become friends really through Facebook. But she was posting this and I was like skeptical of if it worked, but why would she lie? Like, I'm a very trusting person and I knew that she was educated and she had a master's degree and she was a working mother. And so I was like, okay, well, there has to be something to this, but I also don't want to pay for it. So I told her I was interested, that it looked interesting. Like, I'd love to try this product, but I'm not going to try it unless it's cheap or free. And so, I said, let me know if it's ever free. And so she was like, okay, I'll talk to you later. And then a couple weeks later, she was like, hey, so I know you wanted to try this product, but you weren't quite ready. Like, what do you think about maybe making some extra income? My team is doing so well that I have to at least ask. And that was like key to me because the way she asked was just so simple. It let me know that other people were making money and that they were using these products and that this product worked, because if it didn't work, then people wouldn't be making money. Like, I got all that in those just like 2 or 3 sentences that she sent me. And so I actually have my degree is in business marketing and I have never used it. I had never used it before. And I really only got that degree because it was like easier classes than the finance degree. I wanted a finance degree, but I was like, business is business. Marketing is one less class and it has this easy teacher, not this hard teacher. So I had a business marketing degree. And like the one thing I remembered from marketing was like, if you ever find a product that is disposable, like if you like it, you have to keep buying it. So it's not like Pampered Chef, if you buy a pan, they have lifetime guarantees on them. Why would you keep coming back and buying more and more products? Like, once you have your set of pans, you're not going to be buying any more pans. So ours is disposable. So if you like it, you have to keep buying it if you want more. It's in the vanity industry. So it's something that, people always want to look better. Always. And that never goes out of style. And it's like a golden product, which means nobody else sells it. You can't buy it at Walmart. So like, remember, that was my big thing, is I don't like things that you can buy cheaper at Walmart that are the same or comparable. So like, this had the golden trifecta of things from a marketing perspective, that if you were ever going to go into something like, and so in the back of my mind, I was like, what if this is it? Like, what if this product makes me $1 bajillion, And so I had that little tiny mustard seed of a thought in the back of my head. And so when I found out it was only $40 more to join the business than to like buy a box of wraps and still have to buy 2 more months, I was like, why don't I just, yeah, sure, I'll join the business. I'll try the product. If it doesn't work, I'm out $40. Like, okay, I just won't, I don't know, go to Target this week. And, but if it does work, and if it works, I have just stumbled into like a gold mine, right? So that's why I joined, basically, is because I wanted the products free. And I knew that if I wanted this product as a hater and as a skeptic, that I knew I could find at least 4 people in 30 days that would want to try this product too. And then I could get my free product. And literally that was my only goal. I looked at that first promotion of executive and making $200 a month. And I was like, if I can ever do that in maybe like 2 or 5 years, that would be amazing. I can get my nails done and maybe we could go on a date night. But I didn't even look at the other side of the income chart. I didn't believe that was possible. I thought that was like I just didn't think it was real. Like, I know the numbers are there on paper, but I didn't think that was like, maybe if someday, somebody makes this, I don't know. So, that's why I joined, was basically for free product. What was your next question, Jackie?
It was just why you joined, a little bit about your story.
Okay, so
And
that was both.
Whatever you can tell us.
So anyway, I joined. I got my first 4 customers, and within my first month, and I was so proud of myself. And so I've always been like a very, like, I just look at the next step. Like, I never looked at ambassador or presidential. Like, once I got my first 4 customers, I was like, okay, if I can do that, maybe I can make executive. What does it take to make executive? And then I focused hardcore on that, and I like wouldn't go any farther until I had those boxes full. And then I was like, okay, I did this, like, maybe I can do Ruby. And so, like, step by step. And then once I got to Emerald, I went to my first event, and that was like life-changing for me, because I just saw real people just like you and me, hot mess moms, doctors, teachers, like everything, every walk of life. And I was like, if they can do this, I can do this too. And so at Emerald is when I started to like actually believe that I could take this all the way. And it was because of that event. Like, you have to get to an event that's like non-negotiable. And Green Carpet, like, you can now you can stream it. We weren't able to stream before, but that made me believe that I could do it. And I went in April to that event as an Emerald, and I ended the year as a presidential and a top 50 earner. I was making as much per month as I was making per year as a teacher in my first 9 months. Like, that is insane. Like, it's insane. I mean, I was teaching in a private school, so it was less than teaching at a public school, but still, it's insane. That event was just like, it's something just clicked in me. So anyway, the rest is kind of history, but now I've been doing this 7 years. We made $1 million in 3 years, and we built our dream house. I retired my husband from the military. We moved to Texas, and now we get to raise our 4 kids in a amazing family-friendly town, and our house with an amazing pool because of this business. And 7 years later, so I went ambassador in 18 months, and I'm still here 7 years later, and I'm still running because this business is just as good, and it's just as good of an opportunity now as it was. It's even better, I think, because of all the tools we have to use now. Like, we didn't have Zoom. We did like old-fashioned phone calls to try and get people hyped up. Like, it's so much better seeing faces, right? Because you can like see the emotion. But we have so many more tools now, and we have like all the things that corporate is coming out with, and they still have more. It's incredible to see. Okay, so my tip is, I've been talking to Jackie about this, and a little bit Terry and Hannah, like, all week, but I had a major like epiphany this week, just listening to Zooms and trying to get new ideas, and trying to work within my strengths, because you guys have 4 kids, which is insane. I have a preschooler, I have 2 elementary schoolers, and I have a high schooler. So like, who can't drive yet. So all 4 kids, I'm still like 100% driving them everywhere to all their things. And my life is just crazy. But, so I'm trying to figure out how to balance it all. And I still want to grow my business, and I still want to move up and make more money, because there's so much here to do and to make. And, it's really easy to get caught in like, oh, well, I'm not posting enough about lifestyle, and I'm not drawing in enough distributors, and I'm not posting enough of products, and I'm not getting enough customers. It's really easy to like pinpoint what we're doing wrong. And so what I want to challenge all of you guys tonight to do is to think about what you do right. Like, what is something that you feel really confident in and comfortable in, and something that brings you joy when you do it. And for me, that's the products. Like, I want to sign more distributors. I've always been a really good loyal customer signer. For 7 years, that's still my strength. But I'm always like, oh, I wish I could sign more distributors. How do I do that? And I just realized like this week that I need to stay in my strength, and I need to do what makes me happy. Like, if I try and post too much about distributors, and I try to message people about being distributors, then it doesn't feel right to me. And I'm sure that shows. Like, no matter how much I try to make it natural, it's still unnatural. Like, It just is. And so I finally figured out like my way of promoting the products, just like I always do. It's so easy for me because I love all of our products. Like I run more than an 80 BV auto ship every month on purpose because I need more than 80 BV worth of products. I just love them so much. And it's so easy for me to share about them and my love for them and how they make me happy and how they make me feel. And so I just figured out how to turn my love and my joy and what makes me happy and what's easy for me into signing distributors. And so for me, same thing as Jackie was saying with stories, I am up in my stories all day long. It's always stupid stuff about my kids and about my life. Like literally, like I'm sitting in front of Jazzercise drinking my coffee. Like it's literally just documenting your life. And it seems so dumb, but I get so many people messaging me or telling me, usually it's when I see them in person, is like, you are so good at your stories. Like, it's so cool following you. I love like staying updated on what your kids are doing. And you think that nobody cares, but like people are following you every day to see what your kids are doing today, to see like if you went to Jazzercise and to see if you had baseball practice and what Bear is doing, what position he's playing. It's crazy how much time people have on their hands, right? Anyway, so I use my life, and I always have something about products in there. Always, always, always. I'm kind of opposite of most of what you would call like top earners or top enrollers. They'll always say like, you always post about business. You always post business, and every now and then you sprinkle in products. Well, I am like always about products, and every now and then I sprinkle in business because that's just what makes me happy. And that's what's easier. And that's what I know I could do consistently. If I start posting about business too much and it doesn't make me happy and it doesn't feel right, then I'll just stop because I'll just like get caught up in that fear. Like I'm not doing it right. It doesn't feel right. And I won't do anything at all. And that's not doing anyone any good. And so, I post about the products all the time, and I am good at signing customers again. So when I get people interested, like what Jackie was saying in stories or same thing in posts, I go through the entire spiel with them about becoming a customer. This is how much it is. Like you'll be a product tester for 90 days. This is your first order. You get my wholesale discount, yada, yada, yada. And when I'm like, sounds good. And they're like, yeah, sign me up. I'm like, okay, actually this is the very, very last thing. Like this is the part where you like call them and write down their credit card number, or you send them their website. You're like, actually, you know what? I just have to ask you because I would just feel so bad if I asked you and if I didn't ask you, but could you use some extra income? Like you should do this with me. I think you'd be great at it. You can earn your products for free in your first month. And if not, it's totally okay, but I just thought I should ask. And people say yes all the time. They're like, you know what? Actually, that sounds great. Sign me up. Like that's how I just signed my last distributor. And I don't ever, and just like, I know you're going to ask this question, but I don't lose people I don't lose customers that way. Like if they're not interested in the business, they're just like, you know what? No, thanks. I just want the products. I'm like, okay, then I sign them up as a customer. But you have to ask. And I have fallen into the trap numerous times where I'm like, oh, they're not going to be interested. Like, oh, I know them. They're my friends. Like, I know they don't need a business. And so I just don't ask. And if you don't ask, like it's, you've heard this so many times, but if you don't ask, the answer is always no. And so for me, it's a constant, like I'm constantly telling myself, Krista, you have to ask these people. Like they can't say yes if you don't ask them. And like being shy and being introverted and being fearful and being afraid of rejection, it is hard for me to ask. Like, believe me, I'm there with you, but you just have to do it. And so that's my number one tip is like stay in your lane and find out how to make your lane work both ways, because it's easy to be like, I'm just a customer signer. I'm just a distributor signer. Like whatever you're good at, you can still use that to do both and to make it to the top doing that. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
Thank you. I was talking to Chris yesterday. I was like, I love how we all do things so differently, and like different things work for me. Like I only message for distributors, and Krista messages for customers and turns them into, potential distributors. Like, I don't know. It's so cool to see how Lisa does so much in person, and it's so cool to see. I'm going to have Laura talk next. And then I'm going to have Terry talk. So Laura is one of my newbies, actually. She started in June, and she's inspired me. So I wanted her to talk because she's signed, I don't even know how many distributors since she started, and basically built for Diamond, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. She's going Diamond this month. So I just wanted her to tell a little bit about her story and like where I want you to talk about, if you're okay with it, like where you started from, like, what you had to do to get started and, what you've had to like go through even in just a few months, because there are going to be a lot of newbies that are going to watch this and think like all of these things are happening to them and maybe, it's not for them. And I just want you to talk a little bit about the struggle and then what you're doing to like sign all the people. Good. Okay. Thank you. Can you unmute yourself or should I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey. So yeah, I'm Laura. So like Jackie said, I started in June 5th. So really all the way starting right before that, I fell at a job position that I was like really praying for, you guys. It was a cheerleading position for a coach, and that's just something that I thought was like super amazing to actually get paid to coach kids at an elite level. My first night on the job there, I broke my ankle, fell off the mat, and broke my ankle. So I lost that job. And then doing so, I also lost my great paying job as a waitress. I was working at a really nice sushi restaurant making, I was the breadwinner of my house. So I could no longer serve tables, and I lost my dream job at that point too, and had a broken ankle and was laid up in my house. And that like rocked our world. I'm married, I have 2 kids, I have 6 dogs because I show dogs, and being legit stuck on the couch with my ankle raised in the air was like just worst possible case scenario at this moment. Immediately, like I said, as a breadwinner, we started falling behind in bills, and that causes all kinds of struggles, about to lose power getting out, lights, our car rent was behind, mortgage was behind. And, that puts struggle on your relationship. Like my first weekend, I was like talking to Jackie, and I was just like, I'm going to get a divorce. Like I thought my relationship was falling apart and everything too. It was like awful. And I was like, I have no choice but at this point to run with this. So when I did reach out to Jackie initially about what it was that she was doing, because her life looks so great on Facebook and Instagram, I was just like, I need to know what it is. Like, what is it that you're doing? So she explained it to me, and I was like, okay. Like, I didn't really understand all the way, but I was like, I could feel it. And then when it came to the price, I'm like, well, crap, I don't have any money, like anything at all, guys. So I was just like, I told her, I'd do what I could, and I'd try to get into this business. So I did. Like, I legit went into my storage unit in the back, and I had like a window AC unit, and I sold it, and I stashed the money because I knew if I sold it and there was other bills that needed to be paid. So I'm like, that could have gone there. I knew if I had it or my husband saw it, it would go somewhere else. So like, I legit stashed this $50. And that's all I had was $50. It was like literally the next day, Jackie texted me that she had the promo code to get it for $49. I was like, hold thought. I'm pulling that to the bank, and we're going to put the credit card through like immediately so someone else doesn't take that money out of my card. And I signed up. And I just had to trust in this business that this was going to get me somewhere, and trust in Jackie that this was going to get me somewhere, because I literally had nowhere else to go but hopefully up. Because going down would have just, I couldn't imagine. So yeah, by the grace of God, she had the promo code from the carpet thing, and I was able to get in. And yeah, so watch me turn $49. I'm gonna be a millionaire one day, guys. Just watch me. So I also, starting into all this, didn't have support. I didn't have, friends, family, even really my husband into what we're doing here. So like, I had to build. I had to immediately get onto my Facebook and build. I didn't have an Instagram, so I started that up and was starting to build it immediately. So as she said, I think my chart's right here. I'm one person away from my diamond chart. So I have built my diamond chart, and super excited that this month I am just pushing and gung-ho for diamond. I've legit been working like all day. I've messaged like 150 people at this point. I'm scared I'm going to get blocked again. We'll get to that part because I've been blocked before. All right. So my biggest tip, and I'm having this like super ADHD tonight, so don't mind me. I might bounce around a little bit. But my biggest tip is to buckle in and buckle down. All right. Courtney pointed it out last night to me, and I was like, well, duh, yeah. She's like, I always see you in the same spot and in this chair because this is my desk. And I'm like, that's it. This is my space. So I'm telling you guys, find a space you can work, you can find without being distracted and pulled in every other way. This is my space. And then while you're in this space, make it an intentional time. sometimes I'll come and sit here because I like my chair and it's comfortable, but I'm just like la-di-daing here. So I'm like, I try to not use the space for that la-di-daing time. Like if I want to go do that, I'm going to go sit on the couch or lay in my bed. But this is my space to be intentional and do intentional work. So like find that space and then make sure when you are there that you are doing intentional work, because it's so easy to get on Facebook and start scrolling. It's so easy. So you don't want to just do that and waste your time there. So you want to be so super focused no matter what. I didn't know, I have 2 ways I wanted to go with that. So yeah, keeping your goal in mind when you're like doing that kind of stuff. You know, I threw a party in my first, I don't know, 2 weeks. I think I went live and did a launch party, and I like invited all these people to my house, and legit no one showed up. But I had a goal with this party, right? Like I wanted to sign people and I wanted to get some customers. So I had my party anyways. I set up my phone and I went live and acted like there was people in my house, and I talked to the people in my house and talked to the live, and I did my whole party. Like I drew a raffle and I wrapped myself live in front of everyone. Like I like threw a party, you guys, all by my dang self. But you know what? The person that's in the raffle right now is on the Zoom. She won a raffle, she won the products, and we're talking about becoming a distributor, and she's a distributor now, 3 months later. So, you know, keep focused and have that goal in mind, because you know what? It's gonna work out one way or another. So when I am, my tips and stuff, I message. That is like a big thing that I do. I message from the polls, like Jackie was saying. When people are looking at your polls all the way through and you've noticed that they've watched the entire same thing, I put the actual poll on my stories so that they're clicking on that, and I always message from that. My Facebook post, if you liked it or if you commented on it, you're getting messaged as well. And then I also printed out my Facebook list, and I've been going from the back of my Facebook list and I message. When I printed it out, I was able to like organize it and have 3 rows, 3 columns on there, so it fits 48 people. So I minimum have to do one of these every night, because I don't feel like accomplished if I can't just put this paper aside and it's done. I write the date at the top and I check it off and I put it aside. So I really feel like that's a great thing. Host to post, you guys, I get so many out a month, it's not even funny. I don't see a great return immediately for like sales off of them, but I have a whole nother person's friends list that are looking at my product all of a sudden. If they're liking or commenting, I'm adding these people. So I'm also networking just off of these host to posts. I may not be gaining like legit customers at the time, but I'm growing my network this way. So still like believe in your host to post, even if you're feeling like you're not getting, you know, results that you're looking for from it, because I've grown my network so entirely much from that kind of stuff. So yeah. It's all a numbers game, right? So that's what I play. If you're not playing the numbers game, then you're not going to win this numbers game. It's all a huge numbers game. I have legit been warned by Facebook too many times to count about adding. They're like, slow down, don't add in too many people that you don't know, and you know, things like that. So like I'll stop when they warn me. I have been blocked from Facebook for messaging. When I was my first month, it was like the end of the month, and everybody on there was talking about, you know, it's the last day. I'm like, okay, it's the last day, let's push. I just ran with everyone else that was running, and I got blocked from Messenger because I messaged too many people. So I usually like slow down if I get a warning. And I was just blocked from Instagram for the same thing, like for adding too fast. Like they thought I was a bot and said that I can't use people to add or use other programs to add. I'm like, I wasn't, but it's all right. So like, you know, do it till they warn you guys. Like it's a numbers game. If you're not going to push the numbers, then those numbers aren't going to return back to you. And then I'm going to hit y'all with this. I'm going to kind of leave it off unless Jackie has a question or anything like that. But here's a wives' tale that I heard today, and I heard it and I was just like, holy mic drop, okay? So it kind of went along the lines of, there's an old guy that prayed every day to God, like every day, like, can I please, God, win the lottery? God, I need to win the lottery, please, I need to win the lottery. Every single day. Old guy passes away, right? Meets God, and he was just like, you know, why didn't you ever let me win the lottery? What was going on? He said, you never bought a ticket. You never bought a ticket. you guys, you can't win this if you don't buy the ticket. You guys, you have to put the work in, otherwise you're not going to see the results. If you don't message, they're not going to respond. If you don't put your net or your business on your page, they're not going to know you have it. You have to buy the ticket. And that is all I got for y'all today.
All right, well, let's go do our thing. I'm just kidding. Okay, thank you, Laura. I love her. She inspires me so much. Okay, Terry. Terry is incredible. And so will you just tell us why you joined, like a little bit about your story, and then whatever amazingness you want to give.
Oh, I gotta follow Laura. It's not fair.
You're
She was awesome. I love it. So I started almost 6 years ago. It's crazy. But I started because I was a teacher on military posts. My husband had been in the Army, and he had just gotten out. He had just gotten out of active duty. He was in the reserves, and he was going back to school full time. And so in planning for him to do that, like, we sat down and went, looked at our budget, and we were like, okay, it's going to be tight, but we can make this work for the next 4 years, whatever. But then it just wasn't working. It was unexpected things, would pop up. My son was just a baby, and I had gone through really bad postpartum with him. And so, it was just a stressful time all around. We were stressed financially. I was still, dealing with postpartum and going back to work and leaving him and trying to juggle working full time and a new baby and just all that stuff. And then all this, financial stress as well. And every month we were just coming up a little short because something, we'd have to put tires on the car. We'd have to put whatever. So our savings was quickly depleting, and we were like pulling out credit cards, and we're like, this is not going to work for we're not going to be able to do this for the next 4 years. So in the meantime, Krista had gotten started, and she had messaged me about a wrap. I think I was on her chicken list. And I kindly told her no. And then she was posting about going after Diamond in the bonus. They had a bonus. And so I was like, just kind of watching her, and actually found one of my journals where I wrote that I was jealous of her, but I was happy for her, but jealous. But I didn't literally didn't see it for me. You know what I mean? It was just I was jealous, but I didn't see it as something even a possibility for me. It was just not even in the cards. Until she posted about you sent me a catalog or something, but it sent me something, or she posted about Confianza, and I was like, I need natural stress relief. That sounds amazing. We're going through this really hard time. So that intrigued me, about the products. And then another friend of ours had joined her and everything. So they're both legit making money at this point. And I trusted them both. They were like, you know what I mean? That, not these people who would ever, first of all, they're not people who would ever get in with something like this. So I was like, this is different if they're getting involved in it. And then I was like, also, I trust them so much. So I know that they're not scamming people. They're not lying about this. They really do love these products, and they really are making money. So something is up. And so all of that just pulled me in. But my why at the beginning, honestly, was just to get by those 4 years while he was in school. I was like, if I can just make, a little bit, a couple extra $100 a month, the $400, $500 a month, whatever, then we could not go in debt, while he's in school. That was it. I was like, I just want to get by. That was my big goal. And so anyway, I got the stress relief. I still take it every day. Literally within 2 weeks, I felt like myself again after almost a year of dealing with postpartum, severe postpartum anxiety and some depression. And then within 2 weeks was my mind wasn't racing, and I felt like myself again. So I had a story, immediately I had a story, and I was like, holy crap, like if this does this, it's life changing. Like I have to tell everybody, you know? So I just started posting and sharing and putting catalogs out at work and whatever, and samples and doing all the things. And like one of my friends from high school that I hardly ever talk to anymore, she's like, what are you doing? I need to make extra money too. And you guys, I hadn't even got a paycheck yet. Like I wasn't making extra money. I just knew I was going to. And I was like, yeah. And so she started, and it just, you know, went from there. And I made Ruby in 6 weeks. And I was like, oh, there's something to this, you know? And when Krista talked about when she went to that boot camp, that was the call, because like I said, we didn't have Zoom. She said we didn't have Zoom then. We literally did conference calls like you got on the phone. And she came back from that, and she did this conference call, and I was like, whoa, like I had never heard her talk like that before. I was like, what just happened? She's going to go to the top of this company. Like she's literally going to be those people on the other side of the chart. Like, and I was like, I'm going to go with her. Like, it just like, it was that moment. I was like, oh my gosh, like we literally have gold in our hands. Like, you know what I mean? I just realized it. And that's when I, you know, got really serious about going diamond. And then after I went diamond, my husband and I had a talk, like, if I went triple, could I quit my job? And then that just became like eat, sleep, breathe until I got home with my son. And so within a year, I was able to quit. I went triple within a year and was able to quit my job. And then a year later went Prez. So went Prez in 3 years. Yeah. So it's just crazy. What else do you want me to say? That was my story. Some tips, right?
Yes.
Okay. So hang on 1 second. I got one of my girls was supposed to come, but she was going to tell me if she could, and I can't multitask. So, okay, she's hopping on. Anyway, oh, she's on. Okay. Anyway, my tip, Krista stole mine, but no, I was going to talk about staying in your lane. So I think one of the biggest things and what sidetracked me for a long time after going presidential, because it's once you reach your big, like my big why was to get home with my kids, right? So that was kind of like, well, what do I do now? You know what I mean? Like, so we had another kid and I'm home with her and it's awesome. And we moved where we wanted to move. We moved to the mountains and we bought our house and, you know, like all those things because of it worked. And then I was like, well, what's next? And my husband and I have this huge vision, dream to build like a ministry retreat center. So we can, my husband was in the Army. We would love to like have something that we could do like retreats and offer it to soldiers, especially work with soldiers who have PTSD and work with families, and then have like specific ministries for women. And I could work with people who are going through postpartum, like all this stuff that we've walked through to help other people through that and to have a really awesome place. We live in the mountains in Western North Carolina, like beautiful place to do that. It's why we came here. And so, but then we got here and then it was like, that seems giant. So like, what do you do in the meantime kind of thing? And I got like, I call it like business schizophrenia. Like I got like 10,000 voices in my head. Like, you should be doing what so-and-so is doing. No, so-and-so is doing this and this is working. Nope, you should be over here. You should be doing this. No, you should do this. You should do this. And I got so overwhelmed with like, I have this giant vision. I have this huge dream I want to make happen. And I'm going to follow 70 other people's paths to make it happen. No, that doesn't make any sense. But that's what I was trying to do. It was like, I need to do this and this and this and this. And all I did was get overwhelmed and get frustrated and lose my joy and my passion. And what it really came down, like Krista said, was going back to like, what brings me joy and what am I good at? And for me, it's writing. So I'm not like huge on Instagram. I do love stories, so I think they're fun. But but I have a blog and I love to write, and I love sharing our adventure through writing, and writing about the crazy stuff my kids do, and writing about my heart, and writing like devotional style posts. And you guys, when I do that and I stay in my lane and I focus, my inbox is flooded with people like, thank you for sharing that today, exactly what I needed to hear, and thank you for being so real, and you made me cry again today, like I really needed to hear that, and I've been in that spot, and you're so uplifting, and you're like all these things, and it draws people in because I'm being true to who I am, which is being real and being myself and putting it out there for people to see and being transparent. And that is what I have to just always remind myself, like, stay in that zone, because that is what draws people into you. And I've had people message me like, I don't know if I would be able to join your business. Like, can you help me with getting started with you? Because I would love to do what you do. Like, I'm like, yes, I can help you with that. But like, when you're doing that, you just attract people in. So whatever it is that, like Krista was saying, your strength, like, stay in that, because that is what works. And, you know, one of the greatest compliments I ever heard was I went to an event or conference, whatever. I met someone that I only knew from social media. And she was like, you are exactly who you are. Like, on social media, you're exactly who you are. And I was like, shouldn't we all be? But I was like, yeah. But then I realized, like, that people are so desperate, like, they want that. And, you know, so we went to a wedding over the weekend, and all these people were coming. Like, I had like 4 different people come up to me and like introduce themselves to me, because I knew them only from Facebook. And they were like loving on my kids because they've shared our adventure and our journey, and they've watched my babies grow up, and they were like, they're real. Oh my gosh, when you wrote about blah blah blah, when you shared about like bringing up posts that they read like it was a book. Like, that's what it is for me. That's how I share the life. So anyway, that just tells you that it's working, and yours probably looks completely different, and it should, because you need to do what your thing is. You know what I mean? So anyway, that is my tip.
You know, the one main theme that I'm seeing, like, from everyone that's talked, because we've all said kind of different things, is that we're doing whatever we're doing consistently. We're doing whatever we're doing, and we're doing a lot of it, and we're doing it very consistently every single day, right? So, like, that, it's really how it works. Like, we don't just say it just to say it because it sounds like a fun word to use. Like, that's how anything works, right? You want to lose weight, you eat healthy, and you take, use products or whatever, go to the gym consistently. Like, you have to do these things all the time. Okay, anyway, thank you. I love it. We have one more, right? So, Shion.
Yeah, Ashley's on, I think. There she is.
Hello, Ashley.
Hello, how are ya?
Good. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So, why you joined, a little bit about your story, and then whatever amazing tips you want to throw at us.
Wow, okay. I wasn't prepared for this, so give me a minute. Let's see here. I joined because I felt like God was leading me to a path. I think that I kind of lost myself in early mom life, having 2 young kids, and I really just needed to find my way back to my calling somehow. And so I had tried network marketing before, and I had a vision for it, but I just didn't really execute it the way I had always planned on. And I just fell in love with Terry, like you've experienced. She's so real, and she's so cool, and she is who she is. So I just, she approached me, and I told her no. And then one of my best childhood friends said yes and was like, you should do it with me. And I was like, okay, why not, So it's just really, my journey's evolved a lot since then. I have a background in leadership. I got my bachelor's degree in leadership, And I think I always just wanted a vehicle or like an avenue, a way to use that degree. And wellness is actually kind of like a passion of mine that I never really even realized until lately. So I think God just kind of like threaded all of that together for me. And so, yeah, I guess that's what I would say about my story so far. I'm still trying to figure it all out. I'm not going to lie. You know, I have months where I'm like, I have the fire lit and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this, you know. So far I've reached Ruby rank. And then I have months where I'm overwhelmed and I'm just kind of like, you know, I don't know what I'm doing right now. But like you stated, consistency really is everything.
So what would be your biggest thing that you do consistently for your business, or the way that you're enrolling people? Like what are you mainly doing? Does that make sense? I don't know, talk about it.
Yeah, well, I guess what I would say, what hits home for me is going live. And I don't know how much y'all have actually talked about this because I kind of just hopped on, but you know, I have a background as a public speaker. That's kind of what I did in college. And so I go live consistently. And I was actually inspired by listening to another Zoom from like a top leader in the company. But basically, I got on every day and I said, I love my keto coffee. So I'm going to get on and I'm going to just be me. Like, I'm going to be real and I'm going to talk about lots of random things. Like, I like to just make green smoothies all the time. It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with our products. It could if you put the greens in it. But I just tried to like add value to people and have them have a reason to watch me, and it did not feel like it's all about the keto coffee, but of course talk about the keto coffee. So I did that pretty much every day for a month, and it was really great and really surprising because I really wasn't working my business a lot that month, but I did enroll, I think like 3 to 5 customers, and people were kind of coming out of the woods, and it was just sheerly due to the fact that I had been doing those lives.
I love that everyone has now said something different. That's so amazing.
Okay, I didn't know if anyone had said that
no
or
one
not.
talked about
I was
lives.
like,
I like how lives are kind of like mixing in person with social media, you know, like they can really get to know you. I try to go live. I do a lot of videos on my stories, so at least like people can, and I usually don't have like a lot of makeup on or whatever, look like a crazy, because they can, like you said, they can see you. They can see you, they can hear you, they know that you're a real person. Just like whenever I'm messaging back to people, I try to do voice memos. If you know, some of us do voice memos, like just so they can hear your voice, because most of these people that I'm signing up right now are strangers. Like they don't know me, you know, and someone's not just going to like meet you and be like, oh yeah, I completely trust you. But if they see you going live, or they see you on stories, or they read about your life every single day and you're very raw and real with them, like they're just seeing it over and over, then like naturally they want to be around you, because we're very, right, we try to be very inspirational, and this world is can be so negative that people are like really like striving to find something to hold on to that's very positive. And so the more positive and energetic and like excited that you can be about life, or it doesn't have to be at works, but whatever, the more you're going to attract people to you. Like that's what people are attracted to. So
yeah.
Thank you. I love that. Well, unless anyone has any questions, I don't want to keep you any longer because it's already been like an hour. But thank everyone for coming, and I did record this, so I will put it on YouTube and remember eventually to give it to you guys. But hopefully this was helpful. That's all I got. Thank you. I just feel awkward when I end these things, so bye guys.